Depending on who you are, you either love or hate Ultimate Gohan in the Buu Arc, but most people can agree that Gohan, after getting the ultimate form, has some level of character regression for the sake of being edgy and overall cooler. Gohan was supposed to learn and grow from his encounter with Cell, but in this fight, he seems to make the same mistakes. So, what if he didn't? What if Gohan killed Super Buu? For starters, how would Gohan do this? Well, he wouldn't mess around. No time for face-offs with quippy one-liners and derogatory terms. Gohan's dismantling of Super Buu doesn't leave room for escape. Attacks are direct and calculated, eventually putting Super Buu in the position that he has to regenerate. While he begins to regenerate, Gohan charges an ultimate Kamehameha to destroy Super Buu in his entirety, but Buu tricked him. He can regenerate much quicker than he let on and escapes while Gohan charges the Kamehameha. Super Buu's plan is the same as it is originally: absorb Piccolo and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks so he can beat Ultimate Gohan. So, Super Buu reappears when Goten and Trunks are able to fuse again and challenges the two. But Gohan says, no games, rushing Super Buu again. Goten and Trunks aren't even given the chance to speak up for their chance to fight again. They just sit back and watch. There's no chance for Buu now. Gohan is beating him furiously. Now that he's seen Super Buu's full regeneration speed, he knows how much damage he has to deal to defeat Super Buu once and for all. A second chance appears for Gohan to charge an ultimate Kamehameha, and he uses it to great effect. The attack leaves nothing left for Buu to come back from. So, no Buu tanks, no Buuhan, and no Kid Buu are ever seen by the fighters on Earth. Gohan proves that he has matured since the Cell Arc, and getting power drunk isn't something he plans to ever let happen again. Letting his enemy get desperate can lead to dire consequences. He saw that firsthand with Cell. Speaking of Cell killing Goku, since Super Buu was defeated before absorbing Gotenks, Goku remains dead since there's no need for Elder Kai to give up his life for him. Goku has renewed faith in the next generation, so he teleports to King Kai so he could speak to his kids one more time. Goku tells them to keep training, because random threats like Majin Buu can appear at any time. They have to be ready for what's to come. Gohan realizes that had he kept training after Cell, Buu may not have even emerged. The pain that everyone on Earth went through could have been avoided, and the death of his mother and friends didn't need to occur. From now on, Gohan would keep up his training to make sure he's ready for any possible future threats. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, Vegeta is in King Yama's office, and he begins to walk towards the exit. He's ready to be purged and reincarnated.
Thanks for believing in me after all I'd done, but it seems I'm not needed after all. Not that I would have made a difference anyway.
King Yama is about to let Vegeta go, but he snaps a giant pencil in his hands and tells the Saiyan Prince to come back. Yama quickly flips through the pages of his soul book and changes Vegeta's stamp to allow him into heaven while keeping his body. Vegeta smirks at Yama.
So you listened to my conversation with Piccolo then. Where's Kakarot now?
King Yama points to the entrance to heaven, and Vegeta set off. An entirety of fighting and training with Goku was ahead of him. For now, King Kai's planet was still gone, so they'd have to train in heaven, but the planet would return soon enough. The two full-blood Saiyans that made their homes and families on Earth were no more, and it was time for their children to defend that home. Back on Earth, everyone is happy. The Dragon Ball radar was kept safe by Piccolo, thankfully, so they could hunt the Dragon Balls in a few months' time to restore Earth back to the way it was before Buu appeared. After they came up with their plan to fix Earth, Gohan noticed Dende's key, and so they went to get him, and they also got Mr. Satan along the way. They inform him of Buu's defeat and that Videl lost her life, but quickly explain that she'd be back soon, after only a few months. So, time passes and the Dragon Balls reactivate, and they use Shenron to return Earth the way it was before Buu arrived, reviving every good person that died an unnatural death in the last 5 months. There was an air of excitement as Trunks and the newly revived Bulma waited for Vegeta to come back to them, but Shenron tells them the one called Vegeta cannot be revived, since he was revived with the Dragon Balls once before.
Nor would I want to be.
Vegeta's voice enters the minds of their friends.
I'll be spending my days in the afterlife fighting this idiot and seeing how far I can push myself. We'll meet again. One day.
Piccolo smirks, happy to hear that Vegeta got what he wanted after all. Bulma and Trunks begin to cry, but are quickly consoled by Chi-Chi, who has already been through this once before. They'll be okay, and that's true. The next 4 years are filled with Gohan studying and training with the kids. He eventually gets married to Videl in that time, and soon enough, Bulma's birthday comes around 4 years later. But Beerus is nowhere to be found. It seems the god of destruction went to Vampa instead, due to the fact that there were no living full-blooded Saiyans on Earth. If you want to learn more about what happens in that story, well, check out What If Beerus Went to Vampa Instead of Earth, because that covers the story of Beerus going to Vampa instead of Earth as the title suggests, and meeting Broly as opposed to going to a place with mostly half-blooded Saiyans. Back to this story though, Beerus just doesn't arrive on Earth, and time moves on. Gohan continues to train alongside his studies and work into the future, until one day the sky turns dark. The Dragon Balls were being used by the Frieza Force. This immediately catches the attention of Gohan, who is training the boys at the time. He knows that the Dragon Balls aren't generally known, so someone using them is quite suspicious. Just to be safe, he makes his way to the power he feels in the distance. It feels a little too strong to be a normal Earthling anyway. As he does, the Frieza Force scouters go off. They scramble to make their wish as soon as possible, and they successfully revive Frieza. But Gohan arrives just as they do.
Frieza soldiers?
Gohan's eyes turn to the pile of Frieza's flesh on the ground, and he senses power coming off it.
You revived Frieza?
Tagoma tries to attack Gohan, but he might as well be moving in slow motion. Gohan is grown to never drop his guard, so even Sorbet's laser would be useless against him. He quickly knocks out Tagoma, and he blasts the pile of Frieza's flesh, killing the Emperor once and for all. Sorbet calls all of his soldiers to come off the ship and fight, but Gohan is way out of their league. He knocks them all out easily. After seeing his men fall, Sorbet scrambles back to his ship, scared of the Saiyan monster in front of him. But before he can even make it to the entrance ramp, Gohan destroys the ship. All of your men are here, so I think you'd better stay. With that, Gohan flies towards and knocks out Sorbet, and he calls Bulma. She once told him that her friend was in the Galactic Patrol, and all these men should be imprisoned for their crimes against the galaxy. He thought that'd be better than just killing them. Jocko comes to Earth with some extra patrolmen and ships big enough to transport all the criminals to prison. Frieza's revival was halted by a more decisive Gohan, and so life continued on as it has in the past. Training, studying, and working. The world would see peace, but not all versions of Earth are so fortunate.
ついにこの世から私に抗う者が消えたのだ。
Outside of Capsule Corp, the time machine from so long ago appears once again. Inside, it is a broken and beaten future Trunks. The threat of Goku Black is still very real in the future timeline, and this time, Gohan is needed to help save Earth in the future. But that's a story for another day. Thank you so very much for watching.